All right. Well, glad we got the win. It was good to play football again, and just excited to see these guys get on the field after after the off season and some of the adversity that this team's gone through. I'm really proud of the way they played this game, and it wasn't perfect, and it wasn't even our best, but there were some moments that we had some really good things going. And I think the leadership, the experience showed up, and just really proud of the team and the way we played. In all three phases, I thought it was really good. I took care of the football. There's some scary moments. I mean, other than I think if we're evaluating it, I just don't know how they do things in the review when the replay stuff. But that's for the rest. I'm biased when I thought that was a fumble, so I'm always getting, and then we were trying to get a timeout when we thought it could have been reviewed, just didn't work out. So I probably need to get in a better position to get timeouts. I mean, I ran out of breath for no reason because they didn't give it to me until after the play was done. So, but love the way the guys played. Excited about what we can do as a team, and looking forward to the next matchup against SMU in Dallas. Just want to give a lot of praise and appreciation to all the fans that were here. They're amazing, and they brought a lot of energy, and we need them. And so we just hope they know that we appreciate them and love them. And then Jay's doing great. He was in the box and was on the headset, and we're going back and forth and different calls and things like that. But he's in great spirits, and I'm glad that he's healing up, and we'll be ready to have him join us on Monday, so we'll be ready to roll. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, I'll take any questions you guys have for me, but really proud of the team and glad that we're 1-0 right now.
Looking at the defense, Kalani, you guys had 2 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, a takeaway, and I mean this comes after last year where you had 11 sacks the entire season. What can you say just about the effort they had tonight and their ability to kind of keep Southern Illinois on their heels for 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, so the coach in me just wants to. I look at the missed opportunities that we had because there's a lot of them. I mean, I think we had opportunities to get some turnovers and to get more sacks and more disruptive plays. I could think of a couple plays we'd like to have back where guys. But I think when you look at that, just Southern Illinois just made some. I mean, the QB just made some great runs, and he can really get after it. I was impressed with his ability to run the ball, and so. But I thought we tried to keep him crowded as much as possible. It's just hard to do that against a really good athlete, but for the most part, I thought the defense was able to hold their own. And Jay's been getting these guys prepped. He's been getting them ready for this, and I think it's a good step on where we want to be as a defense overall. So saw a lot of freshmen getting opportunities to play and make and have an impact. That helps out too. But the guys buying into it and having another year in the system, I think makes it a lot easier. I mean, that goes for the entire team.
On the other side of the ball, that first drive, Jake was able to make 2 fourth-down passes to keep the drive alive and get you guys on the scoreboard. Does that kind of, to you, encapsulate what his night was about, like his poise and his ability to make plays?
I mean, I don't want to keep going for it on 4th down all the time, but I don't mind doing it either, especially when we're an efficient team. I think the one that we didn't get, he knew that it was just an error on the throw. So that's very fixable, and then Jake can get that done. But everything else, I want to be aggressive, but we have 4 downs for a reason, so I don't mind using it. But I'd rather just get first downs early and get some chunk yardage and get some scores. So, but yeah, if we need to, I mean, there's a plan that we have in place. I thought A-Rod did a great job calling an offense, and I thought the defensive staff did a great job calling defense, and K-pop. That's the special teams. I thought we could have had more opportunities there. We didn't catch the ball secure. We didn't catch it cleanly on kickoff return and on punt return, which really hurt opportunities to get some returns. But I know Pop will get that taken care of. He's a really good coach, and he's got these guys trained. But and then I think Will missed the field goal, and I'm glad he was able to get back and make a couple more. But there's a lot of room for improvement overall as a team, and we'll just get better. But we know that the fix is, and we'll work on it.
What won Jake Retzlaff the job, and what did you think of his performance tonight?
Yeah, the competition was just. I mean, it was back and forth. Both those guys, we feel good about. I think I said it to you guys during camp. We feel really good about both of them, and when we put it out there, Jake won the spot, and the special thing about it is Gary was so supportive, and he's a special human being. I mean, he's awesome, and they have a great relationship. So we needed both of them to compete like that because I thought it made them both better, and we went with what we felt was right and who earned it. You know what I mean? We've been through competitions before, and I only know one way, and that's to play the guy that deserves it, which is hard to do when Gary did a lot of really good things too.
What did you say to the team to address the Jay Hill situation, and did you or any of the coaches get a chance to go see him in the hospital?
No, Jay's a little bit difficult to work with when that happens because it was interesting. I mean, now that you guys all know what was going on, he called me and just like I got a phone call from him, and I'm used to talking to him every night, so it's not a problem. And so I said, "Hey Jay, what's up?" And he was like, "It was his wife Sarah." She's like, "Hey, Kalani, it's Sarah." And I'm like, "Oh, what, is everything okay?" And she said, "Yeah, we're at the hospital, and Jay had a heart attack, and that was kind of hard for me to hear. And all I cared about is he okay? Is my friend okay?" And so that was a huge scare. I'm glad that they were able to get him on the right path to take care of him to recovery. But he didn't really care about that. He just was all about the game. And so when I was trying, hey Jay, just take care of yourself. And he's like, no, we're going to be fine. And then immediately after we hung up the phone, he was just kind of like, I don't want anyone to know about it. I don't want it to be a distraction to the team. And I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be really hard. And he's like, no, we'll have staff meeting and then we'll just work through it. And you can kind of just tell him that. Because he was going to go to his son. His son had a race the next morning anyway, so he wasn't going to be there in meetings. And he wanted to go see his son. So I was going to, he was just kind of, he already had detailed this out and planned it out while laying in the hospital. And so I hung up the phone. I was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. I hung up the phone, and immediately he starts texting all the coaches as if there's nothing going on. He's just like, hey, let's go. I need this for tomorrow's meeting, things like that. And I was just trying to do what he wished, and that was keep it quiet and not try to be a distraction. And then when we talked to the team about it and talked to the staff about it, they were kind of just like, well, he was just texting me. But yeah, he was just doing his own thing. But anyways, long story short, when it did happen and when he was trying to recover, he did not want this to be a distraction or be about him. Didn't want any drama. And of course, whenever that's not what you want, things like that, it does happen. We talked to the team. We got him on FaceTime, and he was able to FaceTime with the team, and he was able to share with them how much he loved them and cared about them. And I thought that was really cool. It kind of gave the players just a good sense of just a relief, and I think people started to figure things out and try to, I think, share his story and what was going on. And then he didn't want the attention, but people love him, and how can you not when he's such a good person? And so I on behalf of him, I just want to tell everybody thank you for caring about him and praying for him. It worked, and he's doing really good right now.
How nice was it to have him here and be able to have that?
Yeah.
You touched on it, but I mean, it kind of puts a little different slant on the game after knowing what he'd been through.
Yeah, it's great to hear his voice, and he'll have his voice because he didn't raise it very often tonight. And normally after the game, his voice cracks right now, and he's lost half of it. So I think maybe he'll be good in the box for now. I don't know, but it's always he's always been a great. He's always been great for me. We've worked together for a long time, so he's a great friend, and I'm just glad that he's doing good right now.
When you said he had a headset, was he talking to you as the DC tonight, or was he talking to the players with the new communication?
We're talking with everyone, and then they're in the box. They had the communication. We had Justin N on that one, and so we were giving calls, and as a staff, we're giving calls, and then Jay would kind of hear it out, and it was all a group effort. I think when they made plays, somebody else called it, but I called it. We would have had a shutout.
Jake had 8 big plays, explosive plays tonight through the air. Was that the difference in what got him this job? Was the explosive playmaking ability?
Gary can do that too, and so I think I mean, we know Jake's abilities, and I'm going to keep saying this. Like, I have to defend Jake because last year he was going through some tough times. He got sick, and he wasn't able to really compete in the off season, and so we saw him competing with Keaton for some time, and at least be on and get after Keaton that part. But the guy's he's just a tough kid, works hard. He has amazing work ethic, and he's got great abilities, and I love the person that he is, and he just happens to play great football.
Last question. When Josiah Phillips comes in and makes a play like that, would you like to see him get more targets in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of guys that can get targets. I mean, it was good. JoJo's got all kinds of ability, and Parker. I think we had. I mean, Chase did some really good things. I don't know exactly what his numbers were, but we have a lot of good players that can get targets. I think if teams decide to play over the top of someone, we have enough that we can get to. And so, love having JoJo. Cody Hagan got some reps in there too, and we got some. Darius wasn't able to play in this game, but he's gonna play next week. And I think I explained it before. That was just when we applied for his waiver. That's what happened. And NCAA said that he played one game in JC, or one play, so he had to miss one game, and it had to be the first game. So it just worked out that way. But Darius has had an amazing camp. I can't wait to get him on the field, and that gives us another target to go to. All right, guys, thank you.
You underestimated us. I couldn't ask you about.
Yeah, I know. You still ask me about the quarterbacks.
Of course we do.
Jake should just come over here and talk for himself. Thanks, guys.
Jake, what did you think of your performance? Pretty flawless, 3 touchdowns, 20, 30, 348. What did you think of the offense and your performance in particular?
It was a lot of fun to play football again. That's what I got to say about it. The guys around me played incredible at every position. The running backs ran the ball really well today. I think we ran for 170, something like that, 500 total yards of offense, 527. That's a total team effort if I've ever heard of one. So I thought I played pretty well. I got to watch the tape to really find out, but the guys around me played really well tonight, and I'm proud of them.
On that opening drive, you had two different times on fourth down where you threw a pass to get a first down, kept the drive wide, and you guys ended up getting a touchdown. Do you feel like that's those sequences kind of set the tone for you guys on offense? You were able to grind out a 13-play drive, get 2 fourth down conversions, and get the score.
I mean, that's just our offense from day one. We go by the book. A-Rod is strict to that thing because it's proven to work. And so I just hope to never see the punt team or the field goal team run on the field, and love to go for it on fourth down. I've always loved to go for it on fourth down. High school ball, my high school coach was super aggressive. We always went for it. Junior college, same thing. And so I love that A-Rod, that's the same mentality for him. And the guys love it too because that just shows his belief in us. And it's a lot of fun to be able to just have a coordinator who believes in you like that and have a team who can perform like that.
Speaking of A-Rod, when did him and Kalani communicate that you won the competition to be the starter going forward?
You want to know how long we successfully kept it under wraps? What was it, middle of last week? So when we kind of officially ended camp stuff and started prepping for Southern Illinois.
For you, how did that maybe instill some confidence and maybe change or validate, what you felt about yourself and how you performed?
When you win any job, when you win any competition, it makes you feel good about yourself. But you can't just sit there and feel good about yourself. We had a game to win, and so it really just got down to preparation. And having a guy like Gary in the room is awesome for that. He's a veteran. He's done it so many ways. He's a heck of a ball player. And so having him in that room is so valuable to me.
John, this week was a little unique with having Jay Hill's situation. What was that like for the defense?
Yeah, we came in and got the news yesterday, and we were all kind of, really shocked and surprised. We're super active and super always involved in everything we do, and so to get that news of him going through that was was devastating, to say the least. And a lot of guys, offense and defense, rallied around the idea that he pours his heart and soul into this program, believes in us, so we better play our hearts out for him. And so so we he wanted us to not play the game any different or do any special anything crazy. He just you just go out and play, do your thing. And I think it was good to have that. And I reminded the boys while we were playing that we got some special circumstances going on, so it was a little bit of a setback, but I'm proud of the guys and how they played through it.
What did it mean for
A lot
him
was
to?
made of increasing physicality in the trenches. On that regard, how do you feel like you guys did? And also, what was the problem with containing the quarterback?
Yeah, we had some runs get away from us. They had to run their quarterback, which was a risky decision. Obviously, paid off for him. There was a couple times where we'd get them on 3rd and long, and then the quarterback goes out for a scramble. We're kind of in our drop 8, so there were some things where we, as 3 defensive linemen playing in that, we got to do better of knowing when the draw is coming or knowing how to contain the quarterback. And that was. It's first game stuff, a little bit. It comes with the game a little bit. So I think we'll watch film and get better and practice it throughout the week.
John, I was going to ask what it was like to have Jay here and have him show up to the game, and talking about after what you've been through, what was it like for him to be here?
Yeah, it was incredible. It just that's just the kind of guy he is. He's always telling us to be tough, and tough guys do this, and for them to have a heart attack and then make it the game, the next day is pretty tough in my opinion. So having him there, it was awesome. He was sitting down or whatever, and he was, had a shook hands with him, told me we were thinking about him, praying about him. So he knows the deal, and he's gonna continue to try his best, even though he's got something going on. So he's gonna find a way to coach us the best way he can.
Did he say anything to you guys before the game when he came out onto the field? Did you get a chance to talk to him?
Yeah, we just shook hands a little bit after our warm up. The whole team kind of went over, and 80 guys are trying to shake his hand. So shook his hand, told him I was praying for him, looking out for him, and he was kind of talking to everybody. But yeah, just seeing him there on the field with us, it was really motivating.
Did any meetings get rescheduled or changed on Friday once you heard out the news, or did everything stay on schedule even without him?
Yeah, we met as a defense real quick and just addressed the elephant in the room, and basically said that the defensive staff is going to take care of the play calling, and they did a job, really good job tonight. All the guys on the defensive staff have coached and played in the defense that we're running, so all the calls were in on time, and there's clear communication. It was actually incredible how fast and how precise the calls were. So to see that go down without the coordinator just is a testament to kind of how they run things and kind of the system that we're playing with.
Jake, you had 8 big plays in the air. Was stretching the field a big focus for you in your growth this season?
I think the opposite, to be honest with you. I've always been aggressive in the way I play, and we knew coming into this game that we'd have a couple chances to take shots downfield, and obviously it was fun to get that first one at JoJo and then Keelan later on, and a bunch of the other ones throughout the day. And but we were ready to take shots. You asked those receivers; they were excited for this game plan for this week, and it just goes to show those guys worked hard this offseason, worked hard in camp to get that stuff down. And big plays make offense a lot easier. 13-play drives are really hard. Having one and scoring a touchdown is unbelievable. We ate up a lot of game clock in that drive, but they don't happen very often, and so be able to have those big plays to shorten those drives makes a huge difference.
How much of a validation?
Last question.
How much of a validation was this performance from the progress you guys have made as an offense from last season?
It is, I would say, but we knew who we are. We're confident in ourselves. Everybody in that offense knows what we can do. I think this is a validation more for you guys than anything, because we're confident in our abilities, and those guys went out there and played just as good as they knew they would play, and so I'm super proud of those guys for being able to do that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, guys. Kev?
LJ and Jacob. So should they just stop throwing the football to your side of the field and they just stop testing you?
No, I want them to keep throwing it as much as they can.
Walk us through that pick, your technique, what your assignment was, and how you're able to make the play on the ball.
So yeah, we're in man, single receiver. They throw a lot of, if you're pressed up, they'll throw usually a boundary fade. So he came off wide and tried to do a little stutter and go. I just didn't bite on it. He was already so close to the sideline. And then, yeah, I just turned and looked for the ball and it was there. So.
A lot of people would say that that's pass interference. How is that not pass interference? Because you kind of shoved them out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked for the ball. I didn't really feel like I shoved him, but I definitely did. But yeah, just look for the ball, and I don't think it'll be a PI. So.
LJ, what was it like finally getting back out there after your shoulder injury? Sorry.
Yeah, it felt really good just to be back out there with the guys and get some live reps.
Jacob, we're talking to John about this, but I want your opinion as well. The whole situation with Jay Hill, different type of thing this last couple of days for a game. What was that experience like, seeing what he went through for this, with the defense, and then having him here tonight?
It was definitely heartbreaking for us just to see him up on the screen. You could tell he's really sad and wanted to be there with us. And I know, I mean, it was super happy to have him back, and just made my day to have him back. So yeah.
Who were some of the players that were more vocal through that process the last few days of getting you guys through it?
We're trying to, Jay Hill wanted us to stay more quiet about it because he really didn't want it to get out to social media until like maybe after the game. But I mean, all of us were just talking about it, we're glad to have him here. So yeah, we're blessed.
Jacob, John just said that maybe the thing that makes Jay the toughest person he knows is man had a heart attack and literally the next day he's coaching from the box. What does that say about him and a guy who tells you guys in the secondary to be tough a lot? I think I heard it practice a few times.
Thing is, he'll talk about us being tough and then he'll be tough. Like now I can't really say anything when he tells me to get up after I roll my ankle. Like he just had a heart attack and now he's back here. So yeah, it just speaks about our coach.
LJ, was it kind of the plan to rotate with Hinckley, carries and all that, and kind of you guys rotating series?
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, it was just go out there and play, just if he got tired, I would go in, and if I got tired, he would go in, and yeah, just play football.
For both of you guys, how good is it just to feel just to get a win after 5-game skid last year, just get back on the winning side of things again? Start with you, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I came into the game thinking we were going to win. I usually always do, no matter who we play. But yeah, it's just nice getting back to the winning side again, and it's different in the locker room when you win. So.
Yeah, winning felt good, after going 5 games, losing straight, But it felt good to go back out there, get a win, and, just kind of show people what we're about. And, they were a good team, and, just to get back on the winning side, knowing how it feels.
I know running the ball was an emphasis throughout the offseason. How would you evaluate the run game today? How did you feel like you guys did overall?
Yeah, I feel like we did well. We were able to get some big runs and stuff like that. But I feel like there was stuff we could definitely clean up, and we'll get back to that tomorrow. We'll start working on that and get ready for next week.
Okay, there were a lot of questions through the offseason and everything about the offensive line and some of the guys, some misses and coming back, that kind of thing. Do you feel like those hogs up front answered some questions today with what they did, what you did, what Falau did, all that?
Yeah, we knew what we had, and that's why we decided to roll with it, and they were able to show it tonight, and we plan on showing it next week.
Talk us through your touchdown, your reception. I know you practice that a lot. What does it feel like when it just works so perfectly and you're wide open and you get in the end zone?
Yeah, we have been practicing that play all fall camp. I think I scored on it once in the practice, and yeah, so when it worked like that, it was no surprise. I felt pretty good not having to get hit to get in the end zone, so that was nice. But yeah, it was fun.
Any other questions for these
Jacob,
two?
when you're on the sideline, you're watching LJ. After you have to tackle him in practice and things of that nature. Describe him as a running back and how beneficial it is to have him back in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he's good all around. He can catch the ball. He can juke. He can truck you. He just runs hard. I haven't had the chance to tackle him, but I don't really want to.
LJ, can you just describe maybe the versatility of the skilled players on this year's team? 10 different guys had catches and the success on the ground, just the versatility of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to see it, you know, from the running back room. I mean, all of us are able to catch, run the ball, be physical, and even the receivers, you know, you see them in the run game blocking, and tight ends as well, run, block, and catching and stuff like that. So you see the versatility all throughout the field. I mean, you know, that's what this offense requires, and that's what the coaches preach to us, just to be a complete player.
This offseason, did you notice a significant difference in this game and like the power that you're able to employ in coverage?
Yeah, it definitely felt better when I get hands-on. I used to have to use a lot more strength, but I mean, I guess that double move, it was maybe the weight I gained pushed him out of bounds, but yeah.
Walk us through, I guess, the injury that you had. How much of a struggle was it to come back and, you know, finally that you're healthy? Is it a relief knowing that that's over?
Yeah, you know, just when it happened, you know, it was kind of disappointing and stuff like that. But just working with the guys in there, you know, our strength staff and our rehab guys, Terrence, Sky, Colby, all those guys, you know, they got me right. I always had belief in them. And, you know, they told me I'd be back at a certain time. And sure enough, they were right, you know. They told me I was going to be back for game one, so I was back for game one. And, yeah.
Anything else? All right, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.